What's going on, everyone? Welcome to this video. So, we are finally here. We're going to talk about the next Scooby-Doo film, and this time it is Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders. So, if you are new to these reviews, I will run it down for you guys quickly. So, we talk about the plot first, and the characters and the voice actors that play them. We will talk about the setting of the film. We will talk about the music and score. Then we will talk about the animation and art style. We will talk about the villain for the film. We will talk about the DVD cover. We will talk about the trailer for the film. We'll talk about my final verdict for this film. And we will talk about any little fun facts I might know about this particular film. So, now that you know, let's get started. So, Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders. I'm just gonna say it right now, this is one of my favorites. This has always been one of my favorites. This is one of my favorites. It has nostalgic feelings for me. So, let's get into the plot. So, I'm not gonna read this whole entire plot. We're just gonna run down the plot, just kind of briefly discuss it. So, Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders. We begin with the gang out just on a fun little road trip. Shaggy's driving, Scooby's his passenger, they're just rocking out. The rest of the gang are just chilling in the back, trying to catch a nap. I think a lot of that rhymed. When suddenly, a mysterious, unidentified flying object appears above them. They can't see, they crash, they need help with their van, and they are just stranded in the desert. So they go find a little town that's nearby, try to get some help. That's when Scooby and Shaggy have an encounter with aliens. Aliens chase them, and they have to run away. Eventually they run into the rest of the gang. They tell everyone, oh, we saw aliens. And then we meet some people of the town. We meet a restaurant waitress, we meet the chef, and we also meet the town's crazy alien believer. So as the story goes, the crazy alien believer named Lester takes the gang in, lets them crash in his place, and tells them stories about when he's been abducted. So, now the gang are like, oh, we gotta help. Our van is broken, so we kind of have no choice at this moment, so, oops. So story goes on, and Shaggy and Scooby get abducted. And they wake up, and they are being tested on and everything. So they try to escape, but then they are basically tased and knocked out. And then they wake up out in the desert, and two mysterious people, or should I say person and dog, are questioning why there are two beings laying in the desert. So, this is when we meet Crystal and Amber. Crystal and Amber are it's a girl and a dog, and they are just kind of a team. Crystal is a FBI agent, basically, but she doesn't say it initially because it has to be a secret and whatever. She's trying to get pictures of the area because it's supposedly, the UFO sightings and whatever. She's trying to get pictures of it and try to help, whatever. Anyways. But then Shaggy and Scooby fall in love with the respective species. Shaggy falls in love with Crystal. Scooby falls in love with Crystal's dog, Amber. So then we have a side plot where Shaggy is trying to be manly. Him and Scooby get all cleaned up for Crystal and Amber, and we have a glorious song, and it's called How Groovy.
Groovy, for her I'd climb a mountain, swim the deepest ocean, I'd even help her shopping, that's the depth of my devotion. It will be a dream come true, she's even got a doggy for
Okay, so the rest of the plot is spoilers. So if you haven't already figured this out, this is going to contain spoilers. So I advise you now. So as the movie goes on, we eventually learn who the villain is, and it is the very first 3 characters we see in the entire film. It is the workers for the SALF, which stands for Search for Alien Life Forms. They have discovered gold down in this abandoned mining tunnel, and they are basically trying to hide it, so they can have all the gold to themselves, because if they were to tell anyone, then the government would find out and it'd become this government-owned facility, and they wouldn't really get all the gold. So they're trying to mine all this gold themselves, and to keep people away, they are dressing up as aliens. They even bought a helicopter and dressed it up as a UFO and everything with special effects and all this. So the aliens are not real. You know what is real? Amber and Crystal. You know why they're real? They're the real aliens. Plot twist. So, as the film goes on, we learn that the real aliens are Amber and Crystal, and they were sent down to Earth, but when they saw kind of how Earth looks and whatever, so that they can be how they look, like human form, the transmission they got was an old transmission, and so they, dressed up all hippie-like and whatever, and that's why Shaggy and Scooby were like, yes, you are my type. So, but yeah, we see that they are aliens, and we have like one of the saddest love stories in cinematic history, and it still hasn't been resolved. I'm still waiting for them to come back, because this is Shaggy and Scooby's real true love. It's just been decided right here and now. I'm trying not to cry. So, ta-da! There's the little plot, okay? Okay. Now's where we get into the greedy meaty. So for the characters and voice actors of this film, we obviously have Fred, Daphne, Velma, Shaggy, Scooby, the gang. Fred's still Frank Welker, bless him. Daphne is still Mary Kay Bergman. This is actually the last time Daphne is played by Mary Kay Bergman, because unfortunately Mary Kay Bergman passed away following this film's production. So the film is actually dedicated to her, so it's really cool. But this is the last time that she plays Daphne. Velma is still played by B.J. Ward. Shaggy and Scooby are also both still played by Scott Ines, I believe is how you say it. Then we have Lester, who is the crazy alien dude. He's played by Jeff Glenn Bennett. Then we have Dottie, who is the waitress, hostess of the restaurant that they're always in the town. She's played by Jennifer Hale. Then we have Steve, and he is played by Mark Hamill. Then we have Crystal, who is played by Candy Milo. Then we have Max, who is played by Kevin Michael Richardson. Then we have Sergio, who's played by Neil Ross. And we have Laura, who is played by Audrey Wasilewicz. You saw the name, you can read it. So overall, the character is pretty much the same. Now the design of the characters for the gang, Shaggy and Scooby look the same. Velma is more in like a tank top instead of like her usual orange sweater, but she's in an orange tank top and shorts. Daphne is also in shorts and, purple still. Sorry guys, I interrupt this movie review to bring you a special bulletin. It is Daphne who's wearing a tank top, and Velma is just wearing an orange t-shirt. Just wanted to correct that. Okay, moving on. And Fred is in a button blue shirt this time, so a little different for them, but Shaggy and Scooby are still the same. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the setting, because the setting is what really really like sells the film for this one. So this film is set in a desert in Roswell, New Mexico. So you know, they're like in this desert, and a lot of times deserts are kind of associated with aliens, you know, like Area 51 and stuff like that. So, you know, it's really cool to see them, you know, in the desert dealing with aliens. Really sets the setting. Plus, there's like amazing sunsets and everything, and you can like see the stars out in the desert, you know, so it just sells more the whole alien factor and everything. So I think the setting is very, very well done for the film, and I definitely like how, since they're in the desert, you know, there's these caves and these canyons and everything that they explore and whatever. Because it's cool, because it's like, they talk about, you know, the whole thing is aliens, you know, so you think outer space, but the real aliens' doings were underground, so it's kind of cool how they work that. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the music and score. So at the beginning of the film, during the opening credits, a lot of it is kind of a parody of Star Trek, how like Star Trek does openings and whatever. But it fits it, obviously, because, you know, aliens, it's in space and whatever. So it's definitely a nostalgic feeling for me, though, the opening, just because it's like aliens, you know, ooh, you know, yeah. But we have some songs for this film. So we have the Scooby-Doo theme song, and this time it is sung by Jennifer Love Hewitt. She is an actress, and they asked her, would you like to sing Scooby-Dooby-Doo? And she was like, I definitely Dooby-Dooby would.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? You've got some work to do now. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? You need some help from you now. Come on, Scooby-Doo, I see you. Telling you gotta sliver.
And then we have Shaggy's song, like I said, which is How Groovy. It's sung through Shaggy's perspective and everything. It's such a like classic Scooby jam. If you haven't heard it, go look up the full songs. I can't put it all in here, but here's a little taste.
I met by chance a girl in bell-bottom pants, and she likes to say, groovy. She came out of the blue, and in an instant I knew everything would be groovy. I'll take this girl on a tour of the world, going port to port. Groovy. We'll spend all our time, every single last dime, at the best food courts. Groovy. Her smile so bright it lights up my romantic feeling.
And then at the end of the movie, during like the chase sequence, basically, we have the aliens are here.
Basement knocking at the door. Are they in for? Do they want more? Watch out, we're not alone. I wish they'd just phone home. The aliens are here to get the human race. The aliens are here. The aliens are here. They're out for us tonight. The aliens are here.
Now, I don't know who like sang this, because I looked it up online and there are so many different artists that it says that like, you know, performed this song. So I really don't know who really did this song. So if you guys know, let me know in the comments below, because I'm so conflicted by who it really is. I wonder if it says it in the credits of the film. Ooh. Okay, so now we're gonna go on to the villains of this film. So, obviously, it's aliens and invaders. So, we have aliens. So, these are very kind of classical aliens, I'd say. You know, they're green, they're, you know, got these big heads. And then their bodies, they've got like these metal armor things, you know. And their UFO is pretty generic, where, you know, it's like, it's a UFO type of thing. I will say though, the real cool aliens are Amber and Crystal, you know, just because they're unique, but they're not the villains of the film whatsoever. So, kudos to them. The real aliens are good. But overall, I really enjoy these aliens. I mean, yes, they're like traditional aliens, so it's kind of like, oh. But again, this movie is nostalgic to me, so it just fits it all, you know? It's the green aliens, they're in the desert, they're, you know, dealing with aliens, so, you know, it just fits it. They did great. And I love how the aliens don't know exactly how to speak in the beginning. Like, they have their own language between each other, but then when they talk to the humans, and remember, they are real humans in the costumes, but when they're talking to, you know, the humans, they're able to talk to them in a very kind of simplified way, but they have like deep voices when they talk English. And then when they talk amongst themselves, they're like, you know, it's kind of interesting. Okay, so now we are on to the DVD cover. So, this is the DVD cover. This DVD cover is when they start to always have Fred, Daphne, and Velma kind of in the background, like, oh! And then they have Shaggy and Scooby prominent up front and everything. So the rest of the covers, it's kind of going to be a similar format where they'll have Fred, Daphne, and Velma kind of in the back, like, oh no! And then Shaggy and Scooby are the ones in danger up here. So I love that they put a UFO, and it's like, you know, taking Scooby up into it type of thing. I think that's a great kind of added thing to the DVD cover. Makes it a little more action feeling, you know, kind of more alien too, like, oh no, Scooby's being abducted. And then I love that they put at least one alien on to the DVD cover so we can see, but they also, you know, don't like give away the factor that, you know, there's 3 aliens actually of these ones. Plus, there is no mention of the Crystal and Amber plot twist on here. Unlike The Witch's Ghost gave away the whole plot twist on the whole DVD cover. Still upset about that. We do have Crystal and Amber back on here, just in a screenshot, but again, you don't know who they are if you haven't watched it. You don't know why they're there or anything. And then we have another alien back here, kind of holding Scooby, and he's all like, please let me go. So overall, would this make you pick it up? That's what we talk about with the DVD covers. Just purely looking at this, if you haven't seen the movie, if you don't know anything about it, would this make you pick it up? For me, I mean, if I didn't love Scooby as much as I do, I feel like this DVD cover would make me still pick it up and be interested. I just don't know if it would fully make me be like, ooh, I want to watch this, you know? But it definitely make me pick it up and look into it. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the trailer for this film. So I will play the trailer.
Coming this fall, you will notice an eerie greenish glow. Your heart will beat faster. Your palms start to sweat. Suddenly, you know they are among us. It's the all-new movie, Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders, coming fall 2000. It's just the beginning.
So as you guys clearly saw, the trailer is a parody of like the X-Files. But I feel like it was such a great trailer for this film because it definitely was like, oh my gosh, like, what? They're dealing with aliens now, like, whoa, you know? So I definitely do like this trailer for the film. Didn't give away too much, it didn't really show much either of the film, which is okay, because that just leaves more for you to watch and see on your own for the very first time. But I do enjoy this trailer. It is one that I have always remembered ever since the first time I saw it. So definitely good job on the trailer. Okay, so my final verdict for this film. I definitely enjoy this one. Like I said, it is one of my favorites. I love the story, and I definitely love kind of how deeper the villainy was, kind of like why they were doing it, the villains or the culprits basically, why they were doing what they did. I feel like they went kind of deeper into like a crime for this one, and I felt like that was really cool to see. Plus, we kind of did see the gang in almost real world danger, because the last two films we saw them in supernatural danger, which is definitely like, oh my gosh, like, are they gonna die? But this time we saw them like they were being hung over this ledge and like just gonna drop into this endless, who knows how deep, canyon of abyss, you know. So that was cool to see them more in a real world danger type of scenario this time. So this one isn't quite as dark as the previous two films, but it definitely is still kind of dark, especially with the setting being in the desert and dealing with aliens. It's still a bit dark, but it's not quite as dark as the last two films. So for this film, Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders, I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. Now, let me say why. Why didn't I give this one a 5 out of 5 if it's one of my favorites? Or why didn't I lower it? So, I don't feel like this one deserves a 5 out of 5 purely because the actual villains weren't the real aliens. And so we didn't get quite that sense of danger, which is okay. It's okay to switch things up. That's why I didn't give it a 5 out of 5, is because the villain aliens weren't the real aliens. Even though the plot twist is great, I just feel like they weren't quite in as much danger as they could have been in this film. Now, why wasn't it lower? Because I feel like this one was better paced. I feel like they had better clues as to who the culprit was and everything. And so I felt like we could follow along this one better than like the Witch's Ghost, because the Witch's Ghost, I feel like the Witch's Ghost was kind of still a great film. Nothing against Witch's Ghost. Those are the only two. Zombie Island, Witch's Ghost are the only two that I have reviewed so far. So I also feel like this film didn't quite have as much horror as we've seen in the last two previous films, and so that's why it's kind of lower for me too. It's not a 5 out of 5 because I feel like the horror isn't as prominent in this one. But so yeah, so my verdict for this is 4 out of 5. Now I do have some fun facts for this film. First, this is the last Scooby-Doo production to use hand-painted cells. From the next film onwards, they use digital color and then eventually digital everything. But this is the last one to use hand-painted cells, and you can definitely tell in it all it looks gorgeous because they use the hand-painted cells, but obviously it saves time now to use digital. This is also the first Scooby-Doo anything to be produced in the 21st century. So, look at Scooby just growing up. This film also did get a full soundtrack release, although only like 3 songs on the soundtrack were actually from the movie. The rest of the songs were just like alien, kind of like about aliens, and so they were like put into it. So if you can find it anywhere, pick it up. I wouldn't say pick this one up as much as the Witch's Ghost one, just because they didn't exactly make songs specifically for this soundtrack. They just kind of released a soundtrack with songs inspired by the film. So yeah, so that is my review on Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this film down in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think about it. Do you like it? Do you not? What do you like about it? What do you not like about it? And if you liked the video, hit that like button. It's always appreciated. If you're new here, press the subscribe button, because why not? And if you haven't already, hit that bell, because you have to now, to get notified when I upload. It's just what YouTube's doing. So do that. Very much appreciated. Love you guys. Y'all are great. So, the next Scooby-Doo movie that I will be reviewing is Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase. Ooh. I see you people getting excited. I know. See, here's my thing. Everybody has seen Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, but everybody owns Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase. So, I know, you guys are excited. Okay, I promise you I will not take as long to get that one made as I have for this one, because if you haven't seen my video of what's been going on, go watch it. It just popped up on the eye thing. Go check it out. I think it's over here. You'll see it. Anyways, guys, thank you all for watching. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed this video. And yeah, don't get abducted by aliens.
Basement knocking at the door. Are they in for